holding Congress meetings. Audio, visual, video treatments, internationally speaking. Audio, visual, video treatments. Audio, visual, video treatments, internationally.
I'm AV. I'm an audio engineer, producer, songwriter. I'm actually stepping back into being an artist, so you might hear from me real soon. I was introduced to Manta Ray Records as an artist when I was younger. And then it turned into me, because I was always recording myself and making my own beats as an artist. I was subcontracting with Manta Ray Records for studio time. So now I just take all the knowledge I know and the talent I have from being an artist and a producer and recording and the years and the man hours of recording on so many different sounds and artists from jazz and reggae and gospel and hip hop and the list goes on, and I bleed it into the craft for the city because it's a small pond, but we can still be big fish in it, and there's no point in going to a big ocean and be amongst other big egos. So I'd rather be that guy that can give you that sound, that big sound that you need. I was introduced to a Nigerian artist, and he let me hear some of his music, and I said, this sounds like reggaeton. And he said, no, this isn't reggaeton, this is an Afro beat. And I said, no, it sounds like reggaeton and you're just an African on it. So he laughed at that aspect, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna make a beat that sounds like this, but I'm gonna make it more Afro inspired instead of reggaeton. I don't want people to think reggaeton when they hear it, but it's gonna have that feel, and it's gonna be a vibe that you can still perform on and do whatever you call an Afro beat. You know what I mean? So I made my first one, and I submitted it to my publisher, and I let him hear it, and I said, I kept you in mind when I made it. And 4 days later, my publisher hit us back and said, Netflix want to use your track for a film that they're in production for. Just in general, I've been doing music since I was 13 years old. And I'm 34 now, so that's 21 years I've been doing music. And in 21 years, I've learned how to do poetry, write, perform, sing. But I've developed a lot of knowledge through doing these things and being active in it. And I've had the pleasure of working with a lot of major artists, side B artists, and a lot of different genres. So I've been able to pick up a lot of wisdom on the way. I'm trying to reach back into my roots of Africa, and I want to introduce myself to more of their culture and their sound. And the communities worry about what the rest of the outside of the community is thinking, and they're living to the statistics of it versus trying to invent a new image and a new perception, a reason for outsiders to come to our city and be a part of the spirit that we created or the culture we created. But right now it seems like we're just trying to emulate what outsiders are doing. And the thought of originating something of our own is kind of not even a thought lately. We're the one rare city that can actually withstand all of the changes going on in the country right now because it's one of the rare cities that's mostly black people. We are the population. We are the main population in this city. We are the majority here. And we should be the majority of the talent. We should be the majority of the artists. We should be the majority of good music coming out of here, or experiments in the studio, in a mind state where this is where it can happen. This is your lab. This is your place to be free and express what you feel. But when we have artists that, come to do what they feel is original, and I hear it sound like, a bunch of repeated things, and I hear accents that's far from Baltimore accents, that bothers me, because they feel another sound or another city got it better than we do. They got it figured out, so why ain't you trying to figure it out? And if we can't do it musically, how can we expect somebody to do it politically? How can we expect them to have that thought of us being that rare city that needs a politician, that needs to think of what black people are going through, because we're a city of just majority black people. A lot of Baltimore police brutality is happening here, film or not. So if our music could speak on that matter more, I think maybe we could get the spirit of other cities to come here and bring more positivity, or bring their spirit in a more positive light versus come here to get our product. Right now, that that protest and a lot of things that happened on North Avenue is only a memory now, as new memorials happen for these innocent black folks that still continue to die since the riots. You know, any positive or negative outcomes that we tried in Baltimore, from burning things down, being violent and looting things, or to people that tried to peacefully protest, either way, more people are still dying and people not learning from Freddie Gray or a lot of other people. But I am seeing a lot of people being influenced through music and the message that music is advertising to their brain. No different than a commercial or anything that's flying on the side of your feed of any platform you're on. They know scientifically that your brain received that, and I'm paying big money because I know that fact. And this music that we recite the lyrics from, if it's not a message that, you know, we live about, then it just might tell me that black man's life might not matter, because every time it's time to kill something, I'm thinking as a black man I gotta do it, because I always say nigga in front of that lyric, in that word. So shoot that nigga, kill that nigga, nigga, I'ma shoot that op, kill that op, and the op has always gotta be a nigga. And it's like, why can't we, you know, reverse that the same way we use the term nigga in music to embrace it or change the definition or privilege of using that word? But we really just recycling the hatred for it by saying, you know, same way I'm saying that's my nigga, that I kill that nigga, you a fuck nigga, you a pussy nigga, and all this bitch in front of just nigga doesn't change the definition. If it's violence, if it's degrading, if it's taking, I'm going for a nigga neck, right during, I've heard that in so many songs from my artists, right when Floyd is dying from a officer's knee or leg, foot on his neck. And it's like how insensitive it is for them to say Black Lives Matter, and then the same track, I got my foot on their neck. That shows the lack of like lyrical restriction or care in what you write or put out in this culture. So it's like, where's the responsibility for your legacy, for our culture? Because we could easily disappear like funk and disco. So I would hate for hip hop to be that. Music means to me information, inspiration, legacy, mood. You know, music can mean a lot of different things. It could be therapy for a lot of people. It could cut across to people more than words could if somebody spoke it to you, but if somebody sung it to you, it just meant more. Music can leave out legacy, so music can be a valuable thing that we could never hear Beethoven perform. We can only see what was written.
Like a virus, catch a cold, keep up in that water like a pirate. I think I go, I'ma whip that pussy like a pirate. She gon' spread them legs just like a virus. She fancy ball, like a virus, like a virus, like a virus. She gon' catch that dick just like a virus. I ate so much pussy, I just caught the itis. I drink so much wet, man, I must be Irish. Take off in that mouth like I'm a fucking pilot. I'ma turn up on that ass and put that phone on silent. She gon' sweat it all, she so flexible. He can't Tylenol, virus got her calling all. Fever got her legs all shaky, so hot she gotta get naked. Dick gang got her feeling famous, too bad she not contagious. She gon' catch that dick just